Howdy, it's Jim Morado, and it's March 1st, 2025. We're in Owingsville, Kentucky, Bath County, and they were having their hopefully first annual Meat Shower Festival, Kentucky Meat Shower Festival. And if you don't know, in 1876, almost 150 years ago, meat rained from the sky in a little area in Bath County. In fact, one of the volunteers of the museum is showing us on the map where it happened. I drove out there the other day just to check things out. I'm going to go back again. I did not get a good video, but very fascinating story. Showing us there on the map again. There's the meat. There's a piece of the meat that has been preserved for, again, 150 years. There was a very friendly professor from Transylvania University who was talking about the meat, and I believe the most popular theory is that some vultures were flying over the area, and they used to fly in bigger groups at one time, and they have a gag reflex like humans. If one of them throws up, the others throw up. So the theory is some vultures were flying overhead and threw up on the town. People did eat the meat, and people said it tasted like bear, mutton, and somebody even said it tasted like human. And I hope there were some follow-up questions for that fella. Great museum here. They even had this cool old wrestling poster. Randy Savage versus Ronnie Garvin, two future world champions. Very cool. I remember seeing Randy Savage wrestle several times at the Owingsville Sports Center when I was a kid. And, I really missed that guy. He was a lot of fun. Great villain. I hated that they turned him face later on in his career. Yeah, there was the professor from Transy, and he was great. He had several theories, and just a really interesting guy. The Bath County Museum has a lot of info on their local history. Museum's pretty packed, by the way. If you go kind of to their downtown area, there's, I guess, the old courthouse. The museum is on the second floor. It's only open some Saturdays, most Saturdays, but not all of them. Oh, they were giving out as a little free souvenir these little postcards with a little recipe inspired by the meat shower. As I mentioned, this was the hopefully first annual meat shower festival, and there were some vendors. It kind of had a little flea market vibe outside. And then there was a little building that had some vendors, bread, that kind of stuff, homemade stuff. In their museum, they had a display on John Bell Hood, local boy, actually. Legendary Confederate. Kind of at the end of the Civil War, when the Confederacy was pretty much at the end, they sort of put him in charge of one of the armies. And, man, he gave it all he had. He was pretty much unable to use an arm and was missing a leg by the end of the war, but he was still leading men. I have actually been to the gravesite of his leg down in Georgia. I think I have a video up on that, by the way. Very nice Civil War display, very nice military display at this museum. There were two young boys that basically just started giving me a tour. And their dad and their granddad had both donated several items to the museum. One of the young men had done a couple of model kits that were on display at the museum. These kids were probably middle school age, early high school age, and you could tell they had a passion for history. And they were telling me all about the relics in the museum and where they came from. Again, their dad had donated... there's one of the young men right there, and I believe that's his dad's. It's part of his dad's uniform that his dad donated. So that was pretty cool. Really cool story too, by the way. The courthouse is supposedly haunted, and it's related to a shootout that happened in the courthouse A man was hanged, and I believe it was the shooter. The shooter's ghost supposedly haunts the courthouse. And some locals were telling me part of the story. Of course, the glass in the door still has the bullet hole evidence from that shootout. Very nice museum, by the way, and I like this quite a bit. I did go here a few weekends ago, and they were closed. If I would have checked their Facebook page first, I would have found that out, but they closed because of weather. So if you're going to go here, again, it's only open on Saturdays. I want to say maybe from 10 till 2 or something like that. Call ahead or check their Facebook page first. And there's the vendors outside at the Meat Shower Festival, historic marker. Interesting history here, and it's a very nice drive. Less than an hour from Lexington, so if you're in Lexington, you can go check it out. The piece of meat, by the way, I think that is actually part of Transy's collection. I don't believe the Bath County Museum has an actual piece of the meat from the meat shower, but Transy does, and I believe they brought it down for this festival. Anyway, if you know much about the meat shower, let me know. I thought this was a pretty cool event, and I enjoyed the Bath County Historic Museum up there too.